Hello, hi. I've made it a kind of tradition to go over the new update drops as they come out. And by that I mean like 10 years after the update actually came out. So we're back here, I guess, and we're gonna be going over the Mounts of Mayhem drop, which obviously I'm very late for. I'm very late to all these drops. In fact, I'm so late that we're literally in snapshot 4 of the next drop already. And so, yeah, you might notice some differences. Like this day counter, I think this is in one of the new snapshots. But whatever. Ignore that stuff for now. For now, we're just going to be going over this stuff, the Mounts of Mayhem stuff. We got the spear weapon. Yes, this is like the mace, where it can literally one tap like any mob in the game. And so the issue is that it's like a sword, kind of, but like cheaper and like oh gosh, it's like a sword but cheaper. And why is it so hard to use? Hold on. Yeah, so he actually killed one of our guys, which is a little goofy. Um, that was unintended, actually. Believe it or not, that was actually unintended. Um, we should probably do this a little further away. But, basically, I'm trying to demonstrate something here. It's kind of tough with how I'm doing it. But you can one tap like any mob. Ignore that. You can put sharpness on this, I think, and it'll do a lot more damage. But basically, it's cheaper than a sword because it's only 2 sticks and 1 of whatever resource you need. So it's like basically cheaper than a sword. And it acts like the mace, where it does more damage the faster you are. So it's like mace, which is does more damage the more vertically you fall. But this is how speedy you are in any direction. So it's like the mace, but even more OP, because you could use the elytra and get it with like horizontal speed as well, and you can one tap like basically anything from enough speed. Now this is really, really slow and ineffective because this is unenchanted. But yeah, you can probably one tap the warden easily with this thing. There's also still attribute swapping. I don't know how they haven't patched attribute swapping yet. It's a bug that is, yeah, it's helpful. It's a helpful bug. So it's like people use it, and it's like fun to use and stuff, and yeah, whatever. But it is so overpowered. Like, it makes the game insane. Okay, this guy's taking a lot more damage than I thought. Basically, you can get rid of the cooldown on any weapon, and you can basically put any enchant from other weapons onto this. Look, okay, the warden's dead. Alright. So they have longer cooldown the higher you go up, and so the netherite spear is gonna have a higher cooldown than a wooden spear. Like, I can show you it. Like, this is pretty, like, you know, the cooldown is different. And I'm destroying my whole setup here already. But basically, you have a charge attack, so you can charge it up and you can do more damage the faster you are. You have like a jab attack that's just kind of like a normal sword, but it has crazy range. It is literally the sword, but with extra range. And it's cheaper than a sword. And you can use attribute swapping to get rid of the cooldown. So it's basically a sword, and it can one-tap everything, and it's cheaper, and it has no cooldown. So it's like, basically, it can just be the most OP thing ever. Like, Dream used it in his friggin' Manhunt revival thing. I don't want to spoil anything, but he used it obliterated all the hunters. I don't think that's spoilers, right? Well, he killed some people, and it was crazy with like a wooden spear, and it's like this thing is just way too overpowered, bro. They need to make this like rarer, bro. They need to make it like the mace, where it's like super rare to get. Then they have a lunge enchantment, which basically just gives you a full-on friggin' dash attack. You can dash through the friggin' you can dash through the air with this thing, like literally. Look at this. You can literally launch yourself. You can do some crazy parkour with this. I remember for like 30 minutes I was just doing parkour with this thing, and yo, it's really fun and cool to use. So you have all these different spears or whatever. Uh, they added the zombie horse. It spawns naturally now, and you can just kind of go around with the zombie horse. They also added netherite horse armor. Pretty dope, if I do say so myself. And you might think, why would I even care, bro? Horses suck. Why would I ever need a horse when I can just get an elytra in 5 seconds? Well, they made it so horses can actually swim now. Yeah, they can swim in water, and so you don't just immediately dismount when you get in water on this thing, and you can actually go across rivers without it being the most annoying thing ever. So basically, it's good now. The horse is not terrible. So, yay. You can actually use it now. It's crazy. Also, what are these stats, bro? Why can I not jump? This guy is bad at jumping. Okay, well, basically, they add the zombie horse to spawning, and it can spawn around with, like, zombies with spears on them or whatever. You feed them with mushrooms. Then they also added the Nautilus, which is, like, underwater mob, basically. They have a zombie Nautilus version, which can spawn with a drowned with a trident on it. Basically, they made the game like 10 times harder in this update because they added all these different mounts that spawn with like guys with spears and tridents. And listen, drowns with tridents are already one of the craziest mobs. And then you add the Nautilus, the zombie Nautilus, and friggin' zombies can spawn on there, shoot tridents at you, and like, what is even that, bro? Like, you're cooked. If you run into that, you're cooked. Like, that is honestly, I think that's a stupid addition. I know some people think the game is like hard, but that honestly should only spawn if you like set the difficulty of the world to hard. They should only spawn those guys like that. So, cause that's just like, that's crazy. Like, you got drowns with tridents already overpowered, and then you give them a freaking mount to ride around in. These guys, these Nautiluses. I don't know how to. I need a saddle to friggin' tame them or whatever. I guess you don't actually tame them, but you need a saddle. So basically, you can dash with them, and this guy's not really good because he can't. Oh, never mind. Look, I'm on the surface now, and I can dash around. And I'm sure he's not happy with the fact that he's on the land, and he's probably gonna die. Anyways, they added all the horse armor, or I mean the Nautilus armor, even netherite. Netherite Nautilus armor is really rare. You can only find not diamond one in ocean ruins like 1% of the time or something. And it's like you need netherite to get this, and so it's like really rare. Are you gonna drown yet? Bro, like, how much air do you have? Okay, anyways, yeah, these guys are like, they're good. Look, you get a status effect. It's called Breath of the Nautilus, and you can breathe. You can breathe. It freezes your breath bar. It's like water breathing, but like slightly less good. I don't know why they didn't just use the normal water breathing effect. That would have worked fine. But basically, yeah, they're good for water travel, and that's cool. Yep. So basically, you could see a pattern here. They just added a bunch of mounts you can ride around in. And then so they added another one. They added the camel husk. It's just a camel, but it's a zombie camel. Yeah, it's like a zombie horse, but a camel, and it's like a camel, but like a zombie husk or whatever. I don't know. And then like basically these new skeletons, uh, called the Parch, spawn on them, and they have things and they shoot at you. I don't remember. Basically, these skeletons, they shoot like I think they shoot like weakness arrows or something. Basically, they have this spawn egg. I guess I should probably show you spawn eggs. Camel husk looks like that. They have a they feed rabbit's foot. Here, eat it, eat it, eat it. Okay, and then the egg is, it looks, I don't know, I deleted them, I broke them. And so they added a skeleton that spawns on the freaking husk, and it does stuff. Yeah, basically. I don't know what to say, bro. I'm not helpful. I'm not being helpful right now. I know, but I'm just showcasing this drop, this stuff, and I don't know. There's like not a lot to really show off with these guys. They're just like skeletons. Anyways, the leather horse armor texture is different. It looks like the one on Bedrock Edition. The spawn eggs in the inventory are organized differently. It's like passive, pets, fish, whatever it is. They changed it around so it's easier to do it, which is actually nice. The horses, they no longer sink in the water. I already told you about that, so it makes them a lot better. And then there's a bunch of other smaller changes. The website I was looking at didn't list like every bug fix and every small feature, but they definitely did some smaller cool changes and stuff, and that's nice. And then the snapshots are already coming out for the next drop. So basically, we are gonna get some new stuff next update. Basically, you know how they updated horses this thing, and they've been doing a lot of like these animals and mounts this drop. Well, next drop they're adding baby animals, baby horses, and it's basically gonna be peak. It's gonna be peak because there's gonna be all these animals, and they're gonna look cute, and there's gonna be all this stuff they're gonna add, and it's gonna be peak basically, and yeah, and I'm gonna kill them all because I don't want them in my world anymore. But basically, I don't know like how long the friggin' drop is gonna take to come out for the next one, but so far, honestly, I think it's looking cool, right? But I'm saying like from what I've seen, it might be the worst drop. It might be the worst drop yet, which isn't that bad, you know? It's still cool that it's being added. It's not the worst. Wow, these guys are really easy to kill with the spear. Even with netherite armor, they are pretty easy to kill. I guess the warden just had a lot of health. So basically, the next drop adds a bunch of baby animals, and so far, you know, it's not done, obviously. So it might... Oh, these guys don't burn in the sunlight. I thought they did. So these, from what I've seen, I know that the drop's not done yet, obviously, right? It's only like the fourth snapshot, right? And they've only added like 2 feature drops, but usually they don't add that many different like feature snapshots, and they just kind of like do a lot of polishing, right? So I don't know if they're gonna add anything else other than the baby animals. There was like all it was craftable name tags and like baby animals so far, and I don't know if they're gonna be able to have enough time. I'm not sure 100%. They probably will have a bit of time to add a little bit more, but from what I've seen so far, I'm just gonna predict that this next drop isn't gonna be as good as the other ones. I think the other ones were pretty good. But yeah, basically, I'm thinking that the Next drop isn't going to be as good. It's just going to add some baby animals. There might be a few smaller features, but honestly, I feel like if they don't add like another big cool feature, then just a few baby animals is not going to affect the gameplay that much. Like the previous worst drops, because I think there's been like 4, 5, or 6, maybe 6 or 7 drops so far, because if you count the bundles of bravery or whatever the other smaller ones were, bundles of bravery was actually a pretty cool update. But yeah, basically there was the creaking update, which was pretty cool, right? Added a new wood set, a cool new mob, new features, and that was nice, right? But then there was the ambient feature update, basically the spring to life, where I added a bunch of like ambient overworld features, which are actually like really cool, and update like a bunch of like biomes to make them feel like more alive and stuff. And like the leaf litter, good fuel source, and the cactus flowers, really good decoration, and the dry grass and stuff. It just adds so much to the ambience, right? And then the summer drop, the one with the happy ghast, was kind of small. It just kind of added the happy ghasts and the locator bar, and then some like visual stuff, I guess. But like it didn't have as much features, and it was still, I think, better than just a few more baby mobs, because the baby mobs, we already had baby mobs obviously, so just retexturing them, sure, it's cute, but it's just not like that big of an update, right? And of course, I feel like they're gonna add more than just baby mobs, but I feel like they couldn't really add more in a drop that'll make like it actually like better than a whole new like rideable flying mob or a bunch of ambient features in the overworld. So I think the next drop is probably gonna be the least good drop. I don't know why I have Geometry Dash open. Anyways, bye bye chat. This update was pretty cool, pretty crazy. Just a reminder, they're not doing major updates anymore, they're doing drops. So imagine this as 1/4 of an update, and combine 4 drops, which is 1 year's worth of drops, into one, and tell me if that is a good overall update. Because I feel there's a lot of hate around the drops, but I mean, you have like you combine them into an actual update, because it's 4/4 of an update basically, right? They just took an update, combined it, or I mean, broke it up into 4/4. So I feel like if you take all 4 drops, you take a bunch of ambient features in the overworld, you take a new rideable flying mob, you take, I guess, vibrant visuals. I don't know if that really counts because it's not on Java yet, but you take vibrant visuals, complete base game shaders, I guess, and then you take whole entire copper tool set and armor. That's a whole new tool set and armor for the game, and also copper golem, a mob vote loser that everybody wanted, and it helps with like sorting, and it's super cute. And then you take a whole new type of weapon, the spear, and a bunch of new mounts that spawn across the overworld with like new challenges basically, and bring back another mob that people have been wanting to bring back, the zombie horse, and then you and it's just, you take all that, combine it into one update, and I would say that's a pretty solid year's worth of updates. That is pretty solid. I think that would be equivalent to like 1.21, the Tricky Trials, or any previous update that they've had. Like you take 1.20, that was 1.20 was basically just a bunch of smaller drops. Like I feel like 1.20 didn't really have a good theme for it going. But yeah, basically I like where this is going. I like the drop system, and this drop is pretty cool, but next one's probably not going to be as good. Anyways, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I guess. I guess we'll see, you know, when it's done, if it's like some crazy cool drop next time. But anyways, I guess we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention there's also new rabbits in the next update, but like that doesn't really count. But anyways, bye. That's it. See you guys next time. Bye.